a cold city night, beneath the buzzing neon and restless noise, a woman walked into a dim bar, and in that single moment, silence followed her. Her name was Claire Reynolds, and though she wore elegance like armor, her eyes carried storms no one else had ever seen. She thought she was here to play a game, but what she didn't know was that the night would rewrite her entire life. Full story, voiceover style. The city was alive, but inside that dimly lit bar, time seemed to pause the moment Claire stepped in. Dressed with quiet grace but moving with defiance, she had the kind of confidence that only comes from surviving battles no one ever speaks about. Her sharp gaze locked onto a man sitting alone in the corner. With a sly smile, she leaned in and whispered, "You can't play games with me." In her mind, she had already won. But life, as Claire was about to discover, doesn't play fair. Some games aren't meant to be played at all. Sparkles. Before we dive deeper into this story, if you believe in second chances, kindness, and tales that remind us of the strength of the human heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to HQ Infinite Stories. Your support helps us keep bringing you powerful stories like this one. Claire's life hadn't been easy. She grew up in a peeling, paint-worn house where laughter was rare, and survival was the only routine. Her father came home from the factory with tired hands and unpaid bills. Her mother, weary but resilient, taught Claire the art of stitching hope out of broken pieces. As a child, Claire learned quickly. Hide your fears with sarcasm, cover your hunger with pride. People noticed her beauty but not her soul. By the time she was 23, she had escaped to the city, determined to rewrite her story. Yet the city wasn't kind. Jobs slipped through her hands, rent became a monster she couldn't outrun, and so-called friends vanished when the drinks ran dry. Claire built walls. She became clever, sharp-tongued, and untouchable. She played roles, smiled like she was in control, and dared anyone to underestimate her. But deep down, she was exhausted from losing battles no one else could see. That night at the bar, she thought Daniel Walker would be like all the others, someone she could charm, someone she could play. But Daniel wasn't like them. He wasn't arrogant nor easily swayed. He carried a stillness that unsettled her, the quiet strength of a man who had already seen life at its worst. Daniel had once been a dreamer, a social worker with visions of changing the world. But betrayal and hardship had carved lines into him, teaching him that kindness often met cruelty. Claire tested him, smiles, witty words, playful challenges. But Daniel didn't flinch. He asked her questions no one ever dared to ask. What do you want out of life? What makes you happy? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? For the first time in a long while, Claire had no answers. She laughed it off, tried to dodge the depth of his questions, but Daniel didn't push. He let the silence linger. And in that silence, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Seen. Days turned into weeks, and their paths crossed again and again. Daniel invited her to simple things. A walk in the park, helping a neighbor move furniture, volunteering at a shelter. To Claire, these small acts of kindness were foreign. She had always believed survival meant taking before others could. But Daniel showed her something different. Her change didn't happen overnight. There were nights she cried herself to sleep, terrified of being abandoned. Days when she lashed out, accusing him of pitying her. But Daniel never walked away. For every wall she built, he offered patience. For every harsh word, he gave silence and understanding. Then came the breaking point. One winter evening, Claire's landlord threatened eviction. With savings gone and pride shattered, she sat in her tiny apartment, tears streaming. When Daniel knocked, she snapped, shouting that she didn't need his help. But finally, in a voice that trembled, she whispered, "I'm so tired of losing." Daniel took her hand and said words she would never forget. "You're not losing. Claire, you've just been playing the wrong game. Life isn't about outsmarting people. It's about finding those who want to play on your side." For the first time, she let those words sink in. For the first time, she believed she could stop pretending. With Daniel's encouragement, Claire began to rebuild. She studied social work, inspired by his passion. She volunteered at shelters, meeting children who reminded her of her younger self, hungry for hope, desperate for love. Her smile, once a mask, became real, warm, genuine, and full of light. But life will always test us. One day, Claire's past came knocking. An old acquaintance dangled temptation, fast money, old games, easy escape. For a moment, her old fears clawed back. But looking into Daniel's steady eyes and remembering the children who believed in her, Claire chose differently. She no longer wanted survival built on lies. She wanted truth, even if it meant stumbling. For the first time in her life, she wasn't alone. Her story became proof that strength isn't in pretending you're unbreakable. It's in allowing yourself to be seen, to be loved, and to love in return. The woman who once entered a bar with a smile, daring the world to challenge her, finally found a smile that spoke peace. That was the victory she never knew she was searching for. Sparkles. If Claire's story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to HQ Infinite Stories. Every click helps us spread more tales of love, resilience, and second chances. And before you go, tell us, have you ever worn a smile to hide your pain only to have someone truly see you? We'd love to hear your story.